Hey everyone, welcome to another installment of Harry Potter Theory. Today we'll be taking a closer look at one of the many oddities of the wizarding world. How in Merlin's beard, Professor Albus Dumbledore was able to understand the language of snakes, Parseltongue. Yes, that's right, Dumbledore. The wizarding world's favourite headmaster, known for his defeat of Gellert Grindelwald, love of lemon sherbets, and ability to give cryptic life advice. This man somehow understood one of the rarest, most exclusive, and seemingly dark magical languages. A language that's supposed to be reserved for the descendants of Salazar Slytherin. But how did he understand it? Was he a secret descendant of Slytherin? Could he have learned it from Grindelwald during his more rebellious youth? Or did he just somehow know? For those of you who don't know or are a little fuzzy on the details, Parseltongue is the language of snakes. Not just the sound snakes make, but a literal, magical form of communication that muggles and most witches and wizards cannot hear, understand, or even recognize as a language. The only magical folks who can speak it naturally are called Parselmouths. These are typically people with a bloodline connection to Salazar Slytherin, one of the 4 founding members of Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. That's why Tom Riddle, aka Lord Voldemort, could speak it. And it's also why Harry, thanks to his accidental Horcrux situation, could do it too. Fun bonus for our boy Harry, it also made most of the school think he was secretly evil for a hot minute. Thanks, Draco. Hannah, he's a Parselmouth. Everyone knows that's the mark of a dark wizard. Have you ever heard of a decent one who could talk to snakes? They called Slytherin himself Serpent Tongue. But now here's where things get a bit odd. Dumbledore wasn't a Slytherin. He was a Gryffindor through and through. The kind of lionheart who'd charge headfirst into danger if it meant saving someone. No Slytherin heritage, no shady family tree connections, nothing. But somehow he could understand Parseltongue. This becomes apparent in The Half-Blood Prince when Harry and Dumbledore use the pensive to view a memory of Bob Ogden, a Ministry of Magic official from the Department of Magical Law Enforcement. Ogden visits the Gaunt family home to serve a summons to Morphin Gaunt, Voldemort's uncle, for attacking a muggle. While at the Gaunt house, Harry sees how Morphin and his father, Marvola Gaunt, use Parseltongue to speak with one another. The Gaunt family, as direct descendants of Salazar Slytherin, speak Parseltongue regularly, often switching to it as a form of private communication. As we've already established, Harry can understand them because of his Horcrux connection to Voldemort. Since Ogden is a ministry official with no connection to Slytherin's bloodline, he cannot understand the Gaunts when they switch to Parseltongue. He clearly finds it confusing and unsettling. This moment highlights how rare and alien Parseltongue is to most in the magical world. And yet, in this same scene, Dumbledore, in observing the memory with Harry, clearly understands the language, helping clarify the memory to Harry afterwards, instead of the other way around. Ogden apparated back to the ministry and returned with reinforcements within 15 minutes. Morphin and his father attempted to fight, but both were overpowered, removed from the cottage and subsequently convicted by the Wizengamot. Of course, this returns us to our question of how was it that Dumbledore could indeed understand the Gaunt's Parseltongue conversation? Well, in a 2007 interview, J.K. Rowling was asked about this very question. Her answer? Dumbledore understood Mermish, Gobbledygook, and Parseltongue. The man was brilliant. As many of you fans of the series will know, this is a somewhat typical response from the author, more cryptic than descriptive. Yet, although Rowling didn't give us a step-by-step guide on how he learned it, she did make one thing clear-ish. Dumbledore wasn't a Parselmouth. He didn't speak it. Rather, she suggested that he just understood it. And this brings us to some of the biggest fan theories and misconceptions. Theory 1. Dumbledore was secretly an heir of Salazar Slytherin. Okay, let's address the basilisk in the room. Some fans have wondered if Dumbledore could secretly be a descendant of Salazar Slytherin himself. I mean, Voldemort had a secret family connection to Slytherin, so it's not completely wild to think there could be others out there. Maybe Dumbledore had a sneaky Slytherin great-granddad who went unmentioned at the family reunion. But here's the problem with that theory. Bloodline and blood purity is a big deal in Harry Potter. If Dumbledore did have a connection to Salazar Slytherin, that would have been huge news, especially since Dumbledore was known as the man who fought Slytherin's heir, Voldemort, multiple times. There's no way that connection would have gone unnoticed, and given how obsessed the wizarding world is with bloodline purity, I'm looking at you, Malfoys, this would have 100% come up. More importantly, the books never once hinted at it. There's no mysterious heirloom, no family crest, no I am your father moment between Dumbledore and Voldemort. This theory has zero canon support, so I think we can officially squash it like a Cornish pixie. Theory 2. Dumbledore learned it from pensive memories. Now, in my opinion, this theory's got way more potential than the first one. We know that Dumbledore spent a lot of time diving into pensive memories of Tom Riddle's past, some of which would have clearly included Parseltongue. There's, of course, the one we've already discussed at length of Bob Ogden's memory, in which the Gaunts are bickering away in the snake language. So, arguably, Dumbledore could have listened to Parseltongue being spoken and, given his experience with magical languages, picked up on its structure and meaning. This would be like watching enough episodes of a show with Spanish and suddenly understanding bits of the language. Sure, you wouldn't be fluent, but you could likely pick up on keywords and phrases. Dumbledore, being the magical genius he was, probably caught on faster than most. And if you watch that one particular memory over and over again, who's to say he wouldn't have been able to eventually decode the meaning of that exchange? Theory 3. Dumbledore was just that smart. Honestly, sometimes the simplest answer can be the best one. In this case, I think it's most likely that Dumbledore could understand Parseltongue because he was just that brilliant. Considering that the man spoke Mermish, the mermaid language, and gobbledygook, the language of goblins, both of which are said to be extremely hard to learn, he clearly had a gift for linguistics. So maybe he didn't need a pensive, Slytherin ancestry, or a magical cheat code. He just listened, learned, and understood. Think of it like this. Many wizards and witches have magical intuition. Harry, for example, is able to summon his firebolt with Accio Firebolt without having practiced the spell for hours. He just gets it. In the same way, Dumbledore might have had a natural talent for understanding Parseltongue. This is Dumbledore we're talking about. The man disarmed Grindelwald, befriended Nicholas Flamel, and discovered 12 uses for Dragon's Blood. Not to mention, he earned the wizarding designation for Order of Merlin First Class, an award for acts of outstanding bravery or distinction, and earned the Elder Wand, the most powerful wand in existence, for decades, without challenge. The man was beyond wise. I wouldn't be surprised if he picked up on Parseltongue after hearing it twice. As far as motivations for learning the language go, it seems quite obvious. Voldemort, being the heir of Slytherin, used Parseltongue to talk to snakes and, more specifically, to communicate with his constant companion and Horcrux, the Maledictus Nagini. Since the Dark Lord wasn't shy about talking to Nagini in front of people, if Dumbledore couldn't understand Parseltongue, he may have missed out on key intelligence. Dumbledore, being the master strategist that he wasn't about to let a language barrier stop him. So, could Dumbledore understand Parseltongue? Yes. How? In my opinion, by being bloody brilliant. He didn't need Slytherin ancestry, a Horcrux accident, or some ancient prophecy. He just figured it out. So the next time someone claims Dumbledore was secretly a Slytherin, share this theory with them, or better yet, direct them right to this video. And with that, we've come to the end of today's topic. That said, I do want to hear from you too. Do you think Dumbledore could have had some secret connection to Slytherin? Did I miss a theory? Leave your thoughts in the comments below, and as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and keep one eye on those parcel mouths. Until next time, remember, it does not do to dwell on dreams, and forget to live.